All right, you guys. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for actually tuning in. This is really dope. So, today I will be doing lesson today I'll be doing lesson 3. All right. So, I'm just going to jump right into it. I don't want to waste you guys' time. The first thing that I need for you guys to do is to pull out a sheet of paper and pull out a writing utensil. You are taking notes. These are notes over lesson 3. The wonderful thing about this is that one, you guys can always come back to this video to help you out. And two, you guys are literally going to come into the classroom with notes. So now you're able to really engage in the lesson and understand Miss Simmons. So we're just giving you guys another layer of support. So lesson 3 is referring to inequalities. All right. So whenever we are talking about inequalities, let me write this out right now. Inequalities. All right. Whenever we're talking about inequalities, we are talking about less than or greater than. And we normally show that by using a symbol. All right. So we have a less than symbol and we have a greater than symbol. How I like to think of it is Pac-Man. Pac-Man wants to eat the greater number and it is running away from the lesser number. That's how I like to think of it. It makes it really easy. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this. You guys have done this. And this is probably like, Mr. Beavers, this is a review. I already know this. Okay. Don't be mad at me. I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same page. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using the less than and greater than symbols. Also, while we're plotting numbers on a number line. All right. So I'm going to show you guys how this works out. Let's just start off with some easy problems to warm up. So if I was to say -6, -6, and over here, I'm going to put in a box. And if I was to put in 6, and if I was to say, is -6 greater than or is -6 less than +6? All right. The first thing that I want us to realize is that if we were to go on a number line, 0, let me change the colors here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yellow. So then I have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. If I was to go on a number line and if I was to plot both of these points, 6 and -6, I want to know which is the larger value. All right. And so we always start off with the number that is from the left. So the number that's on the left is -6. So we are saying -6 is less than 6. And this is why -6 is less than 6. I want us to look on the number line. When we look on the number line, the number that I want us to pay attention to is this number right here, 0. When we're talking about 0, I want us to look at the numbers to the right of 0. The numbers to the right of 0 are positive numbers. All right. And those positive numbers have a greater value than the numbers on the left. Let me go right here. The numbers on the left, which are negative. All right. And so when we're dealing with negative numbers, always, I want you guys to remember that's going to be to the left of the 0 sign. I'm sorry, to the left of the 0. Positive numbers will always be larger than negative numbers. In this case, we have -6 and 6. Both of these numbers, these are opposites. All right, because they share the same distance from 0. All right, so even though these are opposites and they share the same distance from 0, the value of these two numbers are different. You would rather have $6 than owe me $6. All right. I'm going to add another page and I'm going to keep going. All right, so if I was to say I had 35% and 3.5. All right, I want to know is this less than or is this greater than? All right, so the first thing that I want us to realize in this problem, whenever we're dealing with this, we have to realize that we have, let me change the color, we have a percent right here. And with us having a percent, we are comparing a percent to a whole number. So the best thing that we can do is to make sure that we put both of these numbers in the same type of form. All right, we have a percent, we have percent form, and we have decimal form. So the one thing that we can do is that we know that we can convert this percent into a decimal. So we know that a percent is out of 100. All right, a percent is out of 100. And so right now we are at 35%, which means we have not reached one whole yet. So if I was to say, all right, where am I putting my decimal? What's going on? I'm converting this 35% into a decimal. And when I convert that 35% into a decimal, I'm dividing by 100. And when I divide by 100, I get 0.35. All right. The decimal place is moving to the left 2 spots. I'm moving to the left 2 spots. 1, 2. All right. And so when I move that to the left 2 spots, now I have now I have 35 hundredths is less than or greater than 3 5/10. All right, so I want us to look at this. This right here is a whole number. This means that I want to say it like this. And this is part of a whole number. All right. So if I have a whole number and I have part of a whole number, I want us to look at the place values. Whenever we're talking about the place values, this 3 is in the ones place. Over here, when I look at this, in the ones place, I have 0. All right. So this is my whole number. And so when I'm comparing these two numbers, my whole number to the left is at 0 and my whole number to the right is at 3. 3 is larger or greater than 0. So just by that alone, I know that 3 5/10 is larger than 35 hundredths. All right. So I want to just review that a little bit. I want you guys to make sure that when you're doing this problem, that we make sure we are realizing that we are going from a percent to a decimal. We are going from a percent to a decimal. And then we compare by using inequalities. All right, I'm going to give you guys a second to write that all down. This will be a great moment to pause your video and make sure you have all of these notes written down. All right, I'm going to continue on and I'm going to go to the next page. So I want you guys to do these 3 problems on your own. All right, so if I was to have All right. I want you to do these three problems on your own. And when you do these three problems, I want you to tell me why. All right. This would be a good moment for you guys to pause the video to copy the problems down. And I am going to continue and I'm going to move on. So when I look at this, I have a percent. When I have a percent, I'm comparing this percent to a decimal. So I want to convert. When I convert, I know that I am dividing by 100. And so when I divide by 100, I really have 0.41. And I'm comparing that to 4. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me create a little bit more space over here. All right, so I'm comparing 41 hundredths to 4 1/10. All right, so now when I look at this, I look at my whole number. My whole number right here is at a 0. My whole number right here is at a 4. 4 is larger than 0, so I know that 41 hundredths is less than 4 1/10. My next one, I know that these are opposites because they have the same distance from 0, but I want to know which one is larger. So I have 52 is less than or greater than negative 52. I know that 52 is to the right of the 0, making that larger than negative 52, which is to the left of 0. All right, and so for my last one, we have 5 1/10 and 51. All right, so this one is all about making sure that we understand place values. With this problem, I have my 5, which is in the tens, and my 1, which is in the ones place. With this, I have a 5 in the ones, and I have a 1 in the tenths place. So this is about understanding place values. So I have no number. I have no number in 5 1/10 that's in the tenth, that is in the tenths place. So because I have no number that's in the tenth place, I know that 51 is larger than 5 1/10. I want you guys to think about it like this. Would you rather have $51 or would you rather have $5.10? And when you think of it like that, when you think about it in money terms, I think everybody would rather have $51 than $5.10. That's why 51 is larger. All right, make sure you have those notes written down. I'm going to continue on. If you need to pause the video, just pause the video. All right, I'm moving on. So if I had to compare, and let's say I'm going to give you guys a set of numbers. I had 3/10, negative 2 5/10, 7/10, 1, negative 5/10. All right, what I want us to do is I want us to compare all of these numbers using inequalities. All right, so I don't want you to be like, whoa, Mr. Beavers, what's going on here? This is a lot. I want us to really take a moment and I want us to think about this logically. So the first thing that we can do that can make this very easy on us is to put this into a number line. All right, I got my number line and I got 0 right here. All my positive numbers I'm going to put in blue. So I'm gonna start and I'm gonna count by quarters. All right. So I want us to think of when I say quarters, I want you guys to think about it in like money. So I'm counting this is 25, 50, 75, 1. So what I did there is I counted by I counted by 25 hundredths. And that's just like counting by quarters in money. So I have 25, 50, 75, 1. Because that made it one whole dollar. Then I have $1.25, $1.50, $1.75, and I got $2. Now I got $2.25. Now my negative numbers, I'm going to use yellow. All right, I'm going to use yellow and I'm going to go backwards the same way. And it looks like oops, I erased my whole line. It looks like I need to make my line a little bit longer. All right, so I took the same numbers and I just went backwards with them. So now I want us to plot these numbers and I'm going to plot them using purple, use a different color. So the first number that I'm going to plot is 300. All right, if I was to plot 300, I want us to look what that's going to be in between. It's going to be in between 0 and 1. And that's just like having 30 cents. So if I got 30 cents, that's going to be really close to the 25 cents. Plot that right there. And on top, I want us to write what it is. We did this one. The next one, we got -2 and 5/10. So with -2 and 5/10, we got to go all the way back here. And I want us to mark it, -2 and 5/10. Then the next one we got is 7/10. 7/10 is like having 70 cents. Well, that's going to be close to 75. And then we have 1. And then we have -5/10. Well, that's like owing somebody 50 cents. So now that we got them in order, I want us to think about this. And now I want us to put them in order from least to greatest. All right, when we do from least to greatest, our first number is going to be -2 and 5/10, comma. Then our next number is going to be -5/10, comma. And then our next number is going to be 3/10, comma. And then our next number is going to be 7/10, comma. And finally, our largest number is going to be 1. So we put them in least to greatest, but I want us to go back to the original problem. And the original problem was putting them in order. Was putting them in order from least to greatest using inequalities. So I want us to go back and where we put commas at, I want us to now put an inequality sign. So I'm going to change the color up. All right. So I have -2 and 5/10 Well, negative 2 and 5/10 is the smallest value number that we have. So it is going to be less than negative 5/10. Well, negative 5/10 is less than 3/10. And 3/10 is less than 7/10. And 7/10 is less than 1. All right. And so this is how you put these numbers from least to greatest using inequalities. All right. I want you guys to do one on your own. And this is the problem you guys are going to show me tomorrow for your dojo points. So here we go. If I was to say, I don't want to use 7. If I was to say 3, negative 2, and negative 1.5. All right, I want you guys to put these numbers in order from least to greatest using an inequality sign. All right, so you're putting these in order from least . All right, so the first thing that we're going to do, we are going to create a number line. In the middle, I'm going to put 0. My numbers to the right, I'm going to use blue. All right, and so I'm just going to count by halves. So I have 0.5, 1, 1 and 5/10, 2, 2 and 5/10, and 3. To the left, I'm going to use red, which is going to indicate my negative numbers. I have negative 5/10. I have negative 1. I have negative 1 and 1/2. I have negative 2. And I have negative 2 and 5/10. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is plot these points. 3 is right here. Negative 2 is right here. 5/10 is right here. And negative 1 and 5/10 is right here. And now I'm going to put these in order from least to greatest. I am going to start with my number to the left, the furthest to the left, because that is the smallest value number. Out of all of this, you do not want to owe anybody $2. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to say negative 2 is less than negative 1 and 5/10, which is less than 5/10, which is less than 3. And there you go. All right. And you guys, thank you for watching. That's all. You show me your notes tomorrow. See ya.